15 minutes could save you hundreds on car insurance.
They voted Ben Bernanke sexiest Fed chairman ever. It's Sully and Russ on the Big Biz Show.
That's right. Rusty Nails and Sully, Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com. 866-606-TALKS, our telephone number. All right. A couple things here. So it's interesting. We're talking to Bob Chance with National Automation Services, part of our Small Caps or People 2 segment that we do here on the program. You can go to nationalautomation.com. Their stock symbol NASV. Bob, I looked at a press release this morning on your company, and it basically talked about, let me read this to you. It says National Automation Services Operations Update. And basically, it says that you're prepared to move forward on the business plan. And boy, did that make a big reaction in the community. Tell us exactly where you've been and where you're going specifically.
It was pretty amazing. The stock went up over 100% today.
The power of news.
The power of news.
Yeah.
We for the past 2 years, we've been basically regulated by the SEC and trying to get through the compliance of becoming fully reporting.
Fully reporting company, by the way, folks, means that they have to disclose their financial statements every quarter and every year. And until you are fully reporting, there's a lot of limitations on what you can do as a company.
Right. And so our hands have been pretty much tied for the past 2 years. What we are focused on now is not allowing, we're driving the car now, not the SEC.
Yeah.
So we're moving forward with the business plan. That is to acquire small regional companies.
Yeah.
These are specialized companies. They have not been able to grow outside of the box because they don't have the resources. You know,
it's interesting that the insight that you get sometimes from these interviews that we, for our listeners and our viewers, they don't really understand. They never get to hear the inside scoop from a CEO. All they hear is what happens with the company, but not what you have, the battles you have to have. Not only with trying to get business in the door and all your people that work for you and everything else, but the fact that you're regulated heavily because you're publicly traded.
That's correct.
And you've spent 2 years not only trying to do the dance of let's bring business in the door, let's keep ourselves alive with investors, but let's also placate FINRA and the SEC. God. And they change the rules in the middle of the stream, don't they?
Especially the last 2 years, and ever since the economic meltdown, it seems like we were getting, as a moving target.
But you guys, but the difference is you guys aren't some gray market, micro pink sheet company. I mean, you guys are now fully reporting. So can you use stock for currency now to make some of these acquisitions? Or do you have to go raise capital to do it? How do you do that?
A combination of both.
Okay.
When we acquire a company, we don't want to take them over per se. We want them to continue on the way that they've been operating.
So use their management team, use their
management team. What we can do is entice them with a combination of cash and stock to stay on, run the business as they have been. Yeah. All we do is we bring the engineering, the estimating and the back office functions into our corporate office in Henderson, Las Vegas.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
You like that?
I didn't know you're over there in Vegas.
I'm in Vegas.
Guess who else is in Vegas?
I'll be there. That's right, Bob. Over there. No, forget it. Thanksgiving week, though. If you guys are over there, bring the whole crew.
Well, here's
the engineers. They need to laugh.
So what's interesting to me though is that you guys have made 2 acquisitions, even in the midst of having to go through all this garbage. And I say garbage because, boy, to the Joe Six-Pack investor that doesn't understand this stuff, it seems like an awful lot of red tape and paperwork.
It is, and believe it or not, every company we acquire, we have to get them fully compliant with regular.
So you just so every time you do an acquisition, which is good news for you and the shareholders and everybody else,
right.
It still means that there's a road to hoe to get them up to the par where you folks have taken 2 years to get to.
Some of the larger ones we're looking at are already FASB and GAAP compliant.
Yeah.
So they do have audited financials. Those are going to be a lot easier for us to roll in. But
FASB?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's we can spend I'll use it as big biz term of the day tomorrow.
FASB.
Okay. FASB is an accountant term.
Accounting.
Yeah. So here's my question for you. Based upon your guys' advanced material, and we talked about last time when you were on the air, there's 300 local and regional automation companies. Some of those meet your criteria for acquisitions, some of them don't.
Correct.
How does that process work? I mean, how do you go from step one? We have a target acquisition of Big Biz Show Automation. Which was automatically by default cancel the deal. But how do you? What's step 1 versus step 10 on these things?
We have an acquisition committee that's headed by a gentleman, one of our consultants out of Washington, D.C. We have already, over the past 2 years, we weren't sitting on our thumbs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That
we
hurts.
were kind of boxed in, but we were actually doing research.
Yeah.
Over the past 2 years, we've identified 42 companies that meet the criteria, and we've actually contacted a few of those, and we're ready to move forward with acquiring 2 immediately.
So and the idea behind that is, I'm assuming that criteria changes every week with what you guys are trying to accomplish, or every month, or every time you look at an acquisition candidate.
It's a perfect time to buy right now.
Is it? So just like anything else, it's a buyer's market.
It's a buyer's market right now.
Boy, that's good stuff.
So-
The name of the company, by the way, National Automation Services, NASV is the stock symbol, and you can go to nationalautomation.com. Tell us about the management team, because I know I'm going to start getting emails about that. I'm already getting emails in already.
Okay.
Because the management team, it's a complicated enough business that you're in. And you've demystified this somewhat. And we're going to put this company on our watch list. And you're going to hear from Bob every week here for the next several weeks, and hope to kind of bring us along the way here. Management's got to be difficult because most of you guys had to have come from bigger companies, and that safety net, that warm blanket of having Siemens or Johnson Controls or whatever writing a paycheck every week, it's got to be a pretty good feeling. And all of a sudden, oh, you're going to do what? And now you got to gather people around to come with you.
Right.
How hard was that process? And tell me who you got.
It's a very hard process. We have a self-made millionaire who was a land developer here in California on our board of directors. Very wise, very knowledgeable, business savvy gentleman. He's an independent director. We also have 2 other individuals that are engineers. Myself included. I'm actually the chairman of the board as well, acting chairman.
You're acting like one.
I am trying.
Well, no. The point I'm trying to make though is that you've surrounded yourself with good folks you can delegate responsibility.
Right, and we are actually actively interviewing additional board members, independent board members.
Hey, what do you think? I dress sharp.
Yeah.
I look good on the board.
Rusty, you might make the
Nails could do it.
I know the difference between a mechanical engineer and a civil engineer. Do you know? Well, a mechanical engineer makes bombs, and a civil engineer makes targets.
Is that right? Thank you. Okay.
You get that?
Appreciate it. You're hired.
You're hired.
I'll tell you what, Bob. Let's put this on the watch list because we're going to put you up on the website. Let's continue this now, and let's talk to you even later again this week and have some radio stuff going on. But I want to follow the company. I want to follow closely. I think it's good. We got a pile of email last time you were on the air with us, just for the radio. I know we're going to get some more based upon you being on television. And I want to ask you just where you're. This is a kind of a new start for you. This is a great day for you. I mean, you put a great press release out. You got national television radio exposure across 50 states. Where is this company without? I know you can't project and talk about numbers and stock prices, but where is this company in 5 years?
I got this one.
No, don't do this.
Listen, pal, as a board member, and I am bored.
But seriously, I mean, is this something that could be acquired by a bigger company? Is that what your intention is?
It very well could be, and it could be from one of my previous employers that I spoke of earlier.
So the idea is to build this thing up to where it's an attractive acquisition candidate.
Exactly.
And then at that point you get to do somewhat of a stock swap and that's kind of a cool thing. Well, best of luck, man. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later in the week. We're going to check in with you.
Thank you.
Don't go too far. We got to do our broadcast.
Congratulations, Bob. Welcome aboard, huh?
Are you part of the deal now?
I am now, board member.
Bob Chance, National Automation Services, nationalautomation.com, NASB. Russ and Sully on the Big Biz Show. When we come back with the regular buy, sell, or hold, talk about the Wounded Warrior Project and Mel Lissiton, the Big Biz broker. Stick around.